Hey guys, it's Mo here from keywordsblogger.com. In this email, I'm going to go over how to grow an email list, and I'm going to cover a couple of things here. First of all, why you want to get into building an email list, and second of all, how you can get started. So I'm going to cover a bunch of steps that are very simple and that have worked for me. So let's get right into it. First of all, if you're not already convinced, there's a few compelling reasons why you should build an email list. And by an email list, all I mean is basically a database of email addresses that you collect on your website or websites. So the first thing that, or the first problem that email lists solve is a lack of engagement with your site visitors. And what I mean by that is that if you have a website up or a blog or whatever, people come to your site and you have no idea in some cases when they're coming to your site, what they're doing on your site. You can use things like Google Analytics, and you can also set up things like blog comments or whatnot to try and get some engagement going or some relationship building with people who come to your website. But a lot of people will still come to your site and they won't leave a comment, or you won't know what they're doing basically, and you won't know what's on their mind. So if you start building an email list, if you start collecting people's email addresses when they come to your site, it lets you build a relationship with them via email. And as you know, email is a very intimate communications medium. So we all use email every day, and it's a great way of communicating with people back and forth and starting a dialogue going. The second reason why email list building is such a great idea is that when people come to your website, if you're selling something, whether it be your own information product or an affiliate product or whatever, most times people will not buy on the first visit. There's this kind of saying in advertising that it takes 7 exposures before a person will buy a product, and email really gets at that, really solves that problem. So a person might come to your site once, and then they might just leave after a couple of minutes. And once they're gone, if you haven't collected their email address, you have no way of following up with them again to start building that relationship. So when you do collect a person's email address, it lets you make multiple pitches for one product, and then you can also make pitches for other products as well. And you can also give people free content and basically start building value, which will get your relationship going. And the third reason why you should build an email list is that there's this problem of keeping your finger on the pulse of what your customers want or need. That's very hard if, again, customers are anonymous, just coming to your site and then leaving without you interacting with them. Email is an awesome way of doing informal, ongoing market research because people are emailing you, they're commenting on the content on your site, and they're also, in a lot of cases, telling you exactly what they want. I get this every single day on my health websites, and it's a great way of seeing what people want, what they want, and maybe you don't have on your site. So even in terms of free content or in terms of paid products, email is a great way of getting feedback straight from your niche audience. So we know that building an email list is a great thing to do, and it can definitely boost your profits as it does mine on my websites. So how do you get started? Well, there's a few ways that you can collect email addresses on your website. The first is having a simple opt-in box on your website. Basically what this is it's just a box that sits on either the left or right sidebar of your site, and I'll give you an example of one in a second. It should appear on every single web page on your site. So not just on the home page. If a person clicks on your home page and then surfs through the site, it might take 3 or 4 pages of your content to convince them that you're legitimate and that they should give you their email address. The next thing is you should definitely offer something in exchange for their email address, what's often called an ethical bribe. So that could be a small free report or a 7-day e-course. So what you want to do is you want to figure out what problems your audience has, and you can do that through the market research tips that I offer on this blog. And then once you figure out the problems that your audience is facing, you take one of those problems and you write a small free report on it. It might be 10 or 20 pages or so, or it could be an e-course, and you stretch it out over a week and you offer solutions to that one problem. So let me give you an example of a good opt-in box. There's a website called betafishcenter.com. Okay, and I'll just go to the web and I'll show you that opt-in box. So it's betafishcenter.com, B-E-T-T-A. Okay, and if you go down here, this is the home page for that site. I'm going to show you the sidebar box. So we come down to the bottom and you click on additional articles. Okay, and here it is right here. Here is the box. I've actually stolen this style for my own health websites, and I can tell you it works really well. I've tested it against other styles. I've even tested against opt-in boxes that have like a little picture of the report, and this one pulls better. It gets a higher opt-in rate. So I highly recommend you take a look at this one. You can see it's got a nice big red headline here. With the mini course offer, and then it has a little bit of description here of what you'll get. Just enter your first name and email address, and then here it says they've customized it. So they've said name your beta fish, and then a nice big, as we call it, Bob, big orange button, which works really well. Okay, so that's a great example. Betafishcenter.com. Go there to take a look at that. Okay, back to the presentation. You can see I'm a real pro at this anyway. Okay, so the second way of doing collecting email addresses is to have what's called a popover on your website. And that's basically a box, an opt-in box that floats on top of web pages. You've seen it on my own blog. I have one that pops up whenever you come to the site. Some people are against these because they say they're intrusive, but I can tell you they work. They work really well at getting a very high opt-in rate on your website. So as I said, an example is my blog. There's another one I can show you right now. It's called incomediary.com. Let's just go there and see if it works. So it's incomediary.com. And you should see when this loads, the box pop up. Okay. Right, it's making a fool of me. Okay, it's cooking me, that's why it's not showing that. Let's go back to my site, keywordsblogger.com, and we'll see if it pops up here. By the way, Income Diary, great blog. You should definitely add it to your reader. Okay, there it is. So you can see here, get my free 60-page niche research report. Okay, there is the box that pops up. For some reason, it's behind the YouTube video on this one, but when there's not a video, it always pops up in front of everything else. Okay, here it is. Free download. It's a very excellent looking opt-in box, and I'll show you in a second where you can get that. Okay. If you want to get that opt-in box, the popover type, you can go to popupdomination.com. Okay, it's actually the guy who runs the Income Diary blog. He's come up with this product. It's an excellent product, and it works really well. You don't have to have any technical knowledge, no HTML knowledge. You just plug it into your WordPress website. It's a WordPress plugin, and it works really well. Okay, so that's the popover. The third way to collect visitor emails is via PPC squeeze page or pay-per-click squeeze page. Basically what that is in a nutshell is you set up a pay-per-click campaign on Yahoo or Google. You send traffic to your website or your blog from that pay-per-click campaign. The reason that I say Yahoo in this case and not Google is because Google has become very, very tight in terms of their landing page requirements. So Yahoo is much easier to get what we call a squeeze page up. And I should have explained a squeeze page is just an email opt-in page. So you might have come to a web page before where the only thing you could do on the page was to give your name and email address in exchange for a free report or something. That's all you could do on the page. The idea is that that kind of a page squeezes the email address out of you, and that's why it's called a squeeze page. They work really well. So the idea here is that you set up a PPC campaign. You have your squeeze page, which is the landing page for the campaign. So people click on the PPC ad when they go to Yahoo or Google. They land on your squeeze page, and they opt in there. And you collect the email address. Once they click submit their email address, it goes to the sales page next for whatever product you're selling. And that's how I have all of my products set up, my health websites. that also works very well. So even if you don't make a sale straight away, you still have their email address to follow up. Okay, so that's the third type. So the three types that I've covered are an opt-in box on the sidebar on your website. Second is the popover, which you can get at popupdomination.com. And the third thing is a squeeze page that you direct traffic to from a pay-per-click campaign. So how do you get started on all this? Number one is you have to set up an account with an email provider. I use Aweber. Tons of internet marketers use aweber.com. It's a great service. It's very easy and it's very cheap. I think you can get an account set up. First of all, you can do a free trial, I believe, for a little while, and then it's, I think, $20 a month or something. You have to have an email list if you're going to have a website or websites if you want to build a proper business, and so you should get started right away with one of these services. If it's not Aweber, it could be another one, but that's the one I recommend. Number two, you should choose one problem faced by your niche audience. As I mentioned before, the reason that you want to do this is because you want to move on to number three, which is writing a 10 to 20 page free report or e-course. So you choose the problem, and then you write a free report or an e-course, which basically outlines some solutions to that problem. That is going to be the ethical bribe that you use to get people's email addresses, which leads to number four. You then put the opt-in form on your site, and you can use the opt-in form example that I gave from betafishcenter.com. It's an excellent model. Number five, then you start getting traffic to your site, either through pay-per-click, which is the quickest way, or through search engine optimization, which takes longer, or social media. Number six, you want to start writing up your autoresponder series. And autoresponder, basically what that means is just automatic emails that go out from a service like aweber.com or another one. And those you can load up into Aweber. You can write 20 or 30 emails at once, load them up, and then set the intervals in terms of how far apart the emails go out. So once every 4 days, once every 7 days, that sort of thing. And that's how you start developing a relationship with your audience, with your site visitors and subscribers. And it's only with building a relationship, with providing value to people, and proving to people that you're a legitimate source of information and somebody to be trusted, that's how you're going to start making sales. And that's how you're going to build a sustainable online business. So that's pretty much it. I hope this was useful. If you have any comments or suggestions, questions, please leave them below. Thanks a lot.